Hello there and welcome back to my workshop. This is Chest of Drawers show number 3. Making a chest of drawers for storage here in my workshop. The first 2 shows I worked on the frame and panel sides and legs, and in this show what we're going to be doing is first of all gluing those together into their leg units and then working on the drawer dividers that join the leg assemblies together. Now originally the plan was to finish this project with Danish oil, and I mentioned last time that I've changed my mind. I've come up with an idea and I'm going for the two-toned look, using paint for the frames and the legs and then putting varnish on the panels inside. I think that's going to give it a rather striking contrast between the grain of the wood and the paint, and I really like that two-tone look, so that's going to be I think pretty neat. But it does give us a bit of a problem, or a challenge I should say. If I wait until after the assembly to paint the frame, how do I do that without getting paint on my panels? Masking tape helps for straight lines and edges, but for all the nooks and crannies and the adjacent marks or areas here, it's really tough to avoid getting paint on the panel. So I have a plan. And the plan is to do this glue up in sequences and to pre-paint these adjacent surfaces prior to gluing the panel in. So you'll see how that goes as we move along. This will be the second one I do. And I've got the first ready to go here. Here's our 2 legs. There's our upper rail, our lower rail, and here's our center stile. And here's where we're going to be gluing, just right here for now. These 2 mortises and tenons to join the rails with the stile. Then we're just going to assemble this into the legs right here, but without glue. These will be dry, and that's just to keep everything square. And then after this glue is dry, we're going to pull this apart, pre-paint those edges, and then glue the panels in. So that's the plan. If you're ready, that's what we'll start doing. I've got my glue here ready to go. And my glasses. And let's just get going here. Can you see?
I can.
Okay. Now I'm careful with the glue here. I don't want too much squeeze out. That'll give me problems down the road. Okay, there's that. You see okay? There's that. Now some of the squeeze out's going to come back and get along those shoulders, so I'm not going to be too heavy on the shoulders. The glue will get there all by itself. You know what I mean? Okay. Now, thank goodness for cabinet maker's marks. I don't want to screw this up. Okay. There's that. There's that. Need a paper towel. I guess I don't have one. Oh well. Okay, now I've got that ready to go. Now I'm going to take a great big dollop of glue and put it right inside here. No, I don't want to do that.
Oh. Are you serious?
I'm teasing you. Because if I did, I'd never get this back apart, you see? Okay. Quit doing that. All right, here we go. And then, this one here, I'm moving quickly, but I have to. Okay? Then, that's good there. Gently squish that. Check for square. Thank you goodness. That's square as it can be. Wow. Okay. So, I'm happy with that. And now we'll do the next one. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now we'll just give that a little time to dry, and we'll be coming back. Gotta tell you, I really like these things, spreader clamps. My new addition here in the shop. Where have you been all my life? These are great. I love these things. So good to have when you need them. So anyway, we'll be right back. Okay, the glue is dry. Our rails and stiles are together. And I used my spreader clamps to pull everything apart. And now it's time to apply the paint. We're going to be pre-painting the edges of the frames, just the adjacent areas where the panels are next to the frame. And we'll paint the rest later. Let's see here. I think we're ready to go. I'm using milk paint. Milk paint, this is my favorite brand. It's old-fashioned milk paint. You've seen me use this on earlier shows. Very simple to use. It comes in powder form. You mix it up with water and you have paint. It's durable, it's color fast, and it gives you a look you can't get any other way. Here's a sample. I showed this to you in show number 1. This is 2 coats of milk paint with a top coat of wipe-on poly. And the wipe-on poly gives it a deeper color and also some sheen to it. So it's really a nice look. That's what we're aiming for. So I think I'm all set here. I'm using a foam brush. I'm going to give this one last stir. And we're going to get going here. I think the best way to do this is to hold this like this so you can see it. And here we go. Oh, glasses. All right. Okay, we'll do a second coat when that's dry in about 2 hours, and that should do it, and then we'll come back and we're going to glue the panels in. Okay, we have 2 coats of milk paint on our frame, and I took some White Bond Poly with a Q-tip and did just the inside edges where the frame meets the panel. Anything you can do to pre-finish is a good thing to do. So we're set there. You haven't seen the panels before in their finished form, and here is one ready to go. Figured maple, beautiful. That cat's eye effect you see there is called chatoyance. It's sort of a gem-like quality that you get when viewed from different angles in light. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be stunning. Very happy about that. I think my my little chest of drawers project here is getting a little bit too fancy for my workshop. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. I kind of like it. So I think we're ready to go here. Quick gear check. Got my legs, got my glue, my brush, clamps, my persuader. I think we're good to go. It's just a damp rag. So if you're set, we'll get going here. Okay, I even have my glasses. Let's see, first step is to actually get this assembled. Put our panels inside our frame. There's one. There's the other. Make sure I have that right. Okay. There's that. Keep these blue shop towels in place. Okay. Now, I'll apply the glue. Whew, okay. Got it together here. Now we give it another 24 hours and we proceed from there. Okay, our sides are finally together. It only took us a couple episodes to get all this done, but there was a fair amount that we needed to get done. We're ready now to move on to our dividers, which join these sides together and form the web frames which support the drawers. We've got twin mortises cut into our legs. They've been here for a while. And now, for the dividers, I've got them marked with twin tenons. And they have to fit precisely in there to form the drawer openings. Now, I'm a measuring and marking fanatic. I really believe that it's important when making things like this, particularly drawer openings and flush mount drawers. It's really, really important. And let me show you some of the tools I use for getting things done accurately as possible. First thing I use is a marking gauge. This is a wheel gauge. There are more traditional ones as well, but I particularly like these wheel type. This is a tight mark. It's well made. I really like it. It's a little pricey, but it's just so darn well made. I really do like them. Easily adjustable, and it even has a micro adjust feature on here, which I use all the time. So that is that, as I say. Here is a square. Small square is really, really useful when you're doing things like this. And being adjustable, I can also use it as a depth gauge. And sometimes I'll actually use it in conjunction with my wheel gauge, and I can use it to set my wheel gauge like that. I think I showed that to you before. But very nice to have for this kind of thing. Marking knives. You can use an X-Acto blade. I know some people that use pocket knives. This is one made by a company called Check Edge, and I like this one, but suit yourself. By now you know that I like to use mechanical pencils. I use them all the time and buy them in the pack. By the pack. This is the type that I got at my local office supply store. They're inexpensive. This is a 0.5 millimeter lead. They tend to break and they're kind of fragile, but you can replace the leads with a high polymer type of lead, which is less prone to breakage. So that's another thing I like to use when measuring and marking. Here's my latest acquisition. Check this out. This is a rule stop. It clamps from the side clamping, and it will fit many different sizes of rulers. And you just set it to where you want it to be, fasten it down, and then what you can do is measure from one end on something and mark it like that with a great deal of precision. So very good and very useful for longer lengths when you want to mark them accurately and repeatedly. So that is that. Let's see. I think that's it. What do you say we start making some sawdust here and start sawing away on these twin tenons? Well, okay, that wasn't so bad actually. Now I just have 11 more to go. And 12 double tenons later, here we are. Let's put it together. Well, not too bad. It's looking pretty good. Check it for square here really quick. Not too bad. We'll see. I know what you're thinking. Boy, we can't wait till see the next glue up, right? I'm sure it'll be entertaining for you. But anyway, here we are. We've come a long way, but we have a lot to do. I've got to make runners, kickers, vertical drawer dividers, and drawer guides yet. So that's a lot to do. First thing we do when we come back in show number 4, I have to put the top rails on. That's going to give us some structural support and also something to attach the top to. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to set it down over here so you can see. This is the top rail, and it has 2 dovetails on it. And the one dovetail fits into the side rail, and the other dovetail fits into the top of the leg. So that's going to give us a very, very strong rack-free joint right there. Now, anytime you're joining 2 things together like that, the best way to measure and mark them is to mark the second piece off the first piece. So I'll be tracing my dovetails right onto the top of the leg and onto the side rail there, and cutting them out after I've traced them on. It's accurate, it's quick, easy to do. I'll be doing that also with the drawer fronts, and I also demonstrated that when I made my saw bench. I've got the splayed legs, and I had cross pieces, and I held the cross pieces in place and just simply marked them with the pencil. So different ways to do things and keep things accurate. You can even eyeball some things. For the top example, you take the top, put it here, it's going to overlap by about 2 inches on either side, and I can simply eyeball that, look at it, and mark it with a pencil, saw it, and if I'm anywhere close, it's going to be fine so long as I center it on the top. So another example of just measuring and marking and using various techniques for what you're doing. So I think that's it. I think we're done this time. My work is done here. Next time we'll have lots more to do, but thanks for stopping by, and see you next time.
Wasn't that great?